Welcome to Backbone Unlimited. I'm Matt Hartsky. If you've hunted public land for any amount of time, you've seen it. Guys charging up a ridge with no regard for others, pitching tents 50 yards from another camp, blowing bugles in somebody else's setup, or hiking through glassing lanes right at prime time. And when you call it out, the common excuse is, it's public land. I can do what I want. Yeah, it's public land, but that doesn't mean it's lawless. That's like saying it's okay to cut in line in front of 10 people at the grocery store because you're in a hurry. Legal? Sure. Right? Not even close. Today, I'm laying out what I call part of the Code of the West, a set of unwritten rules that every ethical public land hunter should live by. It's not about being soft, it's about showing respect for the land, for the animals, and each other. If you want to be the kind of hunter people want to run into, not the one they talk about for all the wrong reasons, then this one's for you. Now, at the top of my list, rule number one, if they got there first, it's theirs. This one is at the top of my list because I've had it done to me or my boys multiple times, and it is extremely frustrating. To get somewhere at 3 a.m., nobody else is around. You hike up a ridge in the dark. You're waiting on things to start to get light before you rush into an area. And guys come walking up the ridge. They see you. They're 50 yards from you. It's open. This was a mule deer scenario. They look over at us. It's a very narrow trek of land to get into where it opens up a little bit more. Looked over at my boys and I and decided they were just going to walk right on past us as we were waiting to glass this bull at first light. And we've had it happen multiple times at different trailheads, on different ridges, while glassing elk. And this one is just simple. If someone beats you to a glassing point, ridge, or drainage, you must find a different one. I mean, that doesn't mean sliding in a few hundred yards below them to glass the same basin. It means packing up and heading to a new spot. If they're already on the knob, the elk they're watching are theirs to work. Same goes for stalks. If a hunter is already moving in on a bull or a buck and you can tell they're working that animal, back off. You don't accidentally end up in the same pocket 5 minutes behind them unless you're ignoring the signs on purpose. I've seen guys try to justify it. I didn't know they were stalking that elk. You knew. We all know. Their posture, their route, their timing, it's obvious. If you truly couldn't tell, back off and apologize. No harm. But don't pretend you didn't see it while working your own angle. That's just weak. Now, if the stalk goes sideways and that elk blows out, you've got every right to read the terrain and set up on one of those exit routes. That's smart hunting. Just don't interfere with their initial setup. Play the second opportunity, not the first. Next up, first blood claims the animal. Period. You hit an elk, deer, antelope, bear first, even if it's a poor shot. Even if it looks like a graze, that's your animal to pursue. That bull doesn't belong to the guy who finished it off. It doesn't belong to the group that cut it off in the timber. It belongs to the hunter who first connected if he continues to pursue it. I've seen this go sideways too many times. One guy wounds a bull, it runs, and another group intercepts it and kills it while he's still pursuing it. Now everyone's arguing at the carcass. That kind of drama ruins hunts and creates lasting bad blood. If there's any doubt or conflict, go with the first shot. If you're the second shooter, step back, let the other hunter recover their animal. If you're the first shooter and you know your shot was bad and someone else finishes it clean, you can offer to give it to them. That would be equally as ethical, in my opinion, but that's your call. And if you've got a new or young hunter in the second group, letting them take that animal, especially if they're on their first hunt, is the kind of thing that builds this community in the right direction. That's real backbone. Next, respect the calling setup. You hear a guy working a bull, cow calls, bugles, the bull is answering back. That's his setup. I've had this done to me multiple times. Don't walk into the middle of it. Don't drop down between them. Don't start your own calling sequence trying to pull the bull your way. You're just creating chaos. Let the other hunter work this scenario. He was there first. If you want to get creative, read the terrain, look for where that bull might bail out if he gets nervous, set up there. But do not interfere with the primary exchange. That's not competition, that's sabotage. Same goes for other species. Turkey hunters know this rule well. You don't call into someone else's bird. Elk deserves the same courtesy. And let's be real. Sometimes these setups fall apart. Bulls circle downwind. They hang up. That's your chance to capitalize if you've been paying attention, but only if you didn't mess with the guy who made it happen in the first place. Next, campsites aren't group projects. I hate camping near other folks, especially if I don't know them. Here, it's one I see too often. You backpack 5 miles into a drainage, finally find a good spot. It's away from the elk far enough, but close enough where you can get to them when you need to, and boom, someone else is already camped there. Now what? The code says you keep moving. Even if you're smoked from your packing, even if that's where you plan to stay. You don't camp where you can see, hear, or smell another hunter's camp. Give space. Let people have their peace, especially, folks that have worked their tail off equally to get there. Find another flat spot. Drop into a side drainage. Climb to a bench. It's public land, but the code says don't intrude on someone's base camp unless you're invited. The extra 30 minutes of hiking might save both you and them an uncomfortable encounter that could ruin the hunt. Next, prime time means go time, not goof-off time. There's a time to hike and a time to hunt. Don't be moving around during prime time, first light or last light. I've talked about this in other videos that's the time we really want to capitalize on. Nothing's more frustrating than being set up on a ridge, watching a herd feed out, and here comes a guy tromping right through the meadow at 7 a.m., unaware or just indifferent. You want to reposition? Do it midday. Need to get to a new glassing knob? Get there before daylight. Midday is for movement. Prime time is for being quiet, glassing, stalking, or waiting. If you have to move during these hours, stay out of obvious funnels, meadows, or travel corridors. And if you see a hunter posted up, you have to detour. You'd want the same respect. Next, it's not just about rules, it's about reciprocity. Here's the part a lot of new hunters miss. The reason we follow these unwritten rules, this code of the West, isn't just because it's the right thing to do. It's because respect pays off. Let me paint the picture. Say you glass across a 2-mile drainage. You see a hunter's camp, and you also see elk bedded a few hundred yards below that camp. Not a spot you're gonna get to. You store that info. A few days later, you bump into that hunter on a trail. If he's been respectful, given you space, didn't mess up your stalks, you might just share that intel. Hey, I saw a few bedded cows down near your camp 2 days ago. That's reciprocity. You weren't obligated to help, but because he played by the code, you wanted to. Same thing happens all the time when groups pass each other on in and out days. A crew leaving might offer to share their last known elk sightings if you were decent to them during the overlap. Burn bridges out there and no one's helping you. Hunt with respect and doors open that you'll never see coming. Next, let's be clear. Legal and ethical are not the same thing. Sure, it's legal to park right next to somebody's truck at the trailhead and bomb that same ridge that they're on. It's legal to camp 100 yards from another guy's tent. It's legal to shoot over someone's stock from 1,000 yards away. But none of that is right. The code is built on something stronger than laws. It's built on how we treat each other when no one's watching. It's about being the kind of hunter who raises the standard, not just obeys the minimum. That's what Backbone is all about. A few final thoughts. Hunt hard and hunt right. You don't have to agree with every rule I laid out here, but if even half of us followed half of these principles, the mountains would be a better place to hunt. Less tension, less conflict, fewer ruined hunts, more respect, more shared knowledge, and better relationship between everybody that's out there pursuing these animals that we love. At the end of the day, it comes down to this. Show up with integrity, hunt with respect, move with awareness, and remember that it's not just your hunt, it's everyone's. Live the code. Teach it to somebody else, and let your behavior speak louder than your bugle. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Backbone Unlimited. I just wanted to get this out there. It's something that I think about a lot of the time, especially hunting with my boys. You know, if you got value out of this one, do me a favor, share it with a hunting buddy. And if you want deeper coaching, exclusive training, or just want to be part of a community that hunts with grit and character, check out the Team Backbone membership. Until next time, hunt hard, hunt by the code of the West, never settle.